Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook.
The experience is made possible by these great sponsors. The Aspects of Aging weekly talk show. Unscripted conversations with experts. Each week, hosted by Christine Smith on AgingBetterNetwork.com. The Gillette Home Team. Keller Williams Realty Mid-Willamette, 541-451-2211, TeamGillette.com. Realistic Replicas, transforming metal into living art, RealisticReplicas.com.
Ta-da!
And here we are.
Here we are. Look at that. I didn't even introduce us today. Well, hey,
and
everybody.
here's your host, Russ, and me.
Me and me. Yes. Welcome, everybody, to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. As you can tell, we have a lot of fun and a crazy good time. We have two amazing ladies, guests and friends on today, which super excited about that. But Scott, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. You were on a show last night.
I was.
5 p.m. local. What was that all about? There were some hounds involved, I believe.
That's right. And of course, Isabel, who's here with us today, is huge into hounds. She is all about that. And so that is great. Last night, it was a snappy chat with Christine Bell, and love a snappy chat. You know me, I love to chat. And we had so much fun. And I usually don't do things. I know that doesn't sound late to most people, but usually 5 o'clock is pretty much my cutoff. But for the hounds and for Christine, I was happy to do it. And just drank an extra cup of coffee. It was interesting yesterday, Scott, because we had to flip our lease yesterday on my wife's vehicle. So in the midst of everything going on yesterday, I had to return our Jeep Renegade, and we now have a Dodge Hornet, which is really cool, and it's a hybrid, and it's very cool. And I'm even paying less per month to have a brand new car, which is awesome. But yeah, it's how that works with leases. So we had to do that switch, and that threw a little fun into the day because I had to do that. And it takes a while at car dealers, and I had to get back for that show while I was working on everything else.
Well, that's fun. Yeah, good show, great content. And I'll just remind people that reach out to Russ if you've got an event where you need a speaker, you need an inspirational speaker. And I love, Russ, that you've changed from motivational speaker to inspirational speaker. It actually is more descriptive of who you are and what you do.
Well, thank you. Well, I try to be as descriptive, and I learn as I go, and I'm always tweaking wording because, that's great. And of course, everybody, Scott is amazing. I've learned everything from him. He's the master networker. And, we were both invited to an event with a friend, and I'm not able to make it because I get the joy of getting a crown that day, but Scott is going to be at that event. Scott, you want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So, there's a group of inventors in Kentucky, and our friend Leo York is a part of that. He's a great copywriter and has been working with this group. So I'll be talking about branding and marketing to inventors, and inventors are near and dear to my heart. And so I'll be able to talk about a couple of products that I created and branded and are now registered trademarks. That's fun. We'll talk about a game that we did called Pajaggle. And it was a physical board game. There are some different options available. It's still available out there on Amazon, although we sold the rights to that. But I'll just remind people that when you start a company, you start a product, and you have an exit, not all of them end up in a Ferrari lifestyle, but it is fun along the way. So I'll be speaking about branding and marketing, and that'll be a lot of fun.
Well, and you do have fun along the way. And I was blessed the other day, speaking of shows, because we had Leo on with Mike Asherbrenner of the Hounds together on the Experience just a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
And usually Isabel, who's with us today, is working with Mike on their live streaming. I was blessed to be on Isabel's show just a short time back. It's
Mhm.
really great. I just want to say to everybody, this building community, bringing people together, connecting with like-minded people, and being able to share visibility, collaborate together, and helping lift everybody up is such a blessing. And I'm so thankful for that today, Scott. And I just want to remind everybody, we are here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. And yes, not only does this go live, but then it sits on the platforms we broadcast on, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube for forever and beyond, or infinity and beyond. There you go. I said it wrong.
Infinity and
Infinity and beyond.
beyond.
There you go.
There we go.
So, but also it converts to audio podcasts. So you can listen on
Mhm.
iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever your favorite podcast platform
Hey,
is.
and summer road tripping is here, so subscribe to the Experience.
That's right. And last but not least, I want to remind everybody that we would love for you to be part of our YouTube page. If you would please subscribe on YouTube, that would be so great. And all you do is you go to the experience.video. That's it. The experience.video will get you everything you need when it comes to the experience. So we're trying to build that page. So please subscribe there today.
Mhm.
Scott also came up with a page that launches to both of us. Our new offshoot of this show, the Experience Local Live with
Mhm.
Scott. So you can go to local.theexperience.video. It not only launches to YouTube, but it also launches to both of our information, our books, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's enough self-promotion today. I think we should jump into the lovely ladies that
Yeah,
we have.
let's have some fun. Let's get the talent on board here.
There we go. Okay, Isabel just can't wait. She can't wait. She's right there. She's chomping at the bit. Here she is. Woohoo!
Woo-hoo.
Oh,
Your music in the intro is so fabulous. I love it.
That's written and performed by a Grammy and Dove nominated child of Russ Hedge.
that's right. My son,
Oh,
who's
Yeah.
amazing. Don't have to worry about rights to music because I have an amazing family who writes and produces and sings. And so my son, yeah, he's a blessing. So yeah, thank you. We love that song too. And anybody who's looking for amazing music for
Mhm.
a live stream, come see me. So anyway, Isabel, how's it
Hi.
going?
I'm fabulous. It was so great to have you on my show last week. And we ended my show on a cliffhanger because usually I leave the opportunity for my guest to ask me something, but you had to go. So you had a live event like 15 minutes later. So we said, hey, listen, come to this show this week, and we're calling in the hounds. Mike is in the audience. He's gonna tag everybody
Mhm.
there because that's his thing. And so now you are gonna get to ask me whatever you want.
And I love that because I watched that and and I remember at that end, it's like, now normally my guests get to ask a question, but stay tuned next week.
Exactly. And Russ was kind enough to just, I had a last minute cancellation, and to go live last minute. Who do you call? Who
There you
better
go.
than Russ?
There you go.
So
I'm here for you. I'm here for you. That's it.
DM Ross, hey, listen, can you fill in? Of course, Isabel, because he wears his heart on his sleeves. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, we're so thankful you're here. And first,
Thank
we're
you.
going to have you tell everybody, who is Isabel? What are
Hmm.
you all about? And then I'm going to ask you that question.
Okay, well, I'm Isabel Fortin, and I am a team leadership strategist. So I help leaders tap in and hone in the individuality of each of their team members to get the most out of them, to get a cohesive team, and to get their leadership style and communication style adapted to their team members. Because we all know that dealing with bad leadership has a ripple effect on everything else in our lives, right? If we're not treated well at our work, then we go home, and maybe we're a little impatient with the spouse unit and the kids and our community and our aging parents and everything else. So that's what I do. I help the leaders to do a better job at adapting their leadership skill to their teams.
That is so awesome. And you know what? I'm going to ask you right now because, we all have our little stump speech, what we're all about, what we do. You and I can just give it with so much passion. But
Yes.
if today was your last day on this earth,
Yeah.
what would you be doing if you had the choice of anything? Money's no object. Today is your last day on earth. What would you be doing?
I'd be dancing salsa.
Dancing salsa?
Yeah. I'd be
Hey.
dancing barefoot in somewhere in Tahiti, just on the beach with great dancers, great music, and that's it. I'd be dancing. Dancing is joy.
That is so awesome. I got to tell you a story because I have loved dancing. In fact, I met my beautiful wife asking her to dance.
Yeah.
And I have danced my whole life. I've been in show groups. I have just done it for fun. And my wife and I learned salsa dancing to go on a cruise because they had a club where they did that. And because I was one of the only husbands in our group that actually knew how to do it, I had to dance with every single person that we went with. We were the whole group. I got totally worn out, but it was so much fun. It is such a joy in life. So that is so great. And, I think that's what people need to think about, Isabel, is if today was your last day, because being that I've had my mortality thrust in front of my face in the last couple of years, what exactly would you do? And with that question, hold that thought. We're going to get our next guest, April White, in the room, who is amazing and probably has an answer to that question too. Here she is. Good morning, April.
Hey, everyone. So excited to be here with you all. This is so fun, just diving in. As soon as Isabel said doing salsa, I was like, yeah, I want to be there. I want to be dancing on the beach doing that.
Everybody's welcome.
There you go. Well, you know what's so fun about that too, April? We're going to have you introduce yourself and we'll talk more about that. But what's so fun about that is if you want, like my beautiful wife and I, we didn't know the exact steps of how to do certain dancing. We just took a class for fun together. And then we learned the steps and all that kind of stuff. Then it makes it even more fun because then actually you don't just have to fake it. I mean, I can fake it, but you could actually do the way you're supposed to do. But I'm going to jump back here and say, hey, glad to have you here. Who is April and what are you up to?
Thank you, Russ. Thank you, Scott, for having me here. I am the founder of Living with Intention. This is a wonderful, I don't want to say business. It's a wonderful life, I want to say, of being a wellness advocate and offering ways for people to balance the mind and body because we're so out of our bodies right now and up in our minds and very distracted that we need a center point. We need to bring it back to ourselves. So that's what I'm all about. And also co-creating communities such as we're doing here right now. So this is why I'm super excited to be here with you all.
Yeah. Scott, go ahead.
I just love the whole community, right? We build community based off of common interest or shared hardship. COVID was a global opportunity to connect to people, but it's nice when it's a common interest instead of a shared hardship. And we were just talking about leadership, and I was reminded of a pastor that I talked to years ago. He said, Scott, we don't start any ministry based off need. We only start a ministry based off leadership. And it's so important. And so I'd just love to kind of dive into that topic a little bit more.
Oh, and I like how you say dive because Russ, I'm going to answer that question. I want to be diving after dancing salsa with Isabella on the beach. My husband and I, instead of learning to dance together, we learned to dive together. So we're certified scuba divers. So I would be I would just absolutely love to be in Australia diving the Great Barrier Reef there.
Ooh,
So
nice.
that's my dive.
Yeah, that would be so fun. I think, Isabel, that when we talk about our passion, we talk about what we would love to do. And I really encourage everybody, no matter where you are, you need to live your passion, because that's the purpose God put in you when he created you to live. And part of that, though, is what we do by example. We are leading by example. Scott was talking about leadership, right? And so whether we're coaching or consulting or mentoring or whatever we're doing in life, we are leading by example. And how important is that to you?
Oh, it's everything. It's everything. It's about tapping into our joy. We're not I'm a person of faith, you know this. You and I have had this discussion before. I don't believe in the punitive God. I don't think I was put on this planet to suffer and to go through hardship. Of course, hardship is going to come, and I'm a cancer survivor just like you are, but it's about tapping into our joy. And when you are connected to your joy, then you can just live your life and be an example without having to lead by example. You're just that because you embody it.
Right.
That's the way that I look at that.
Well, and I think too, April, that, it's important. I mean, one thing you said there just kind of set a tone with me. I remember Charles Barkley years ago that said, I am not what was the word he used, Scott?
Not a role model.
There
I'm
you go. Not a role model. But
Yeah.
what you just said, Isabel, is so true. Just living that. It is leading by example, by just living who we are. I mean, that is our example, and we are a role model no matter whether we like it or not. But that's a good thing, because even if we touch one life, because I'm with you, full of joy and blessing, even if we're touching one life, April, it makes a difference.
Oh yeah. And just as Isabella said, it's the embodiment, right? Bringing it back to us as we live our passion or joy. We feel that, and we're the ripple effect. Literally, you can walk in a room and you can sense things that, other people, their energy, whatever that is, and you can still hold your own, joy and not have to worry about their right, what's going on with them. So this is what I love to do. I love to help people bring it back to themselves, help them fill their cup, so that way they can be that ripple effect. They can go through life and in joy, and not worry about what other people are doing or saying, that type of thing, because then that just, you go down that rabbit hole and you're stuck down in that, and that's not ours, right, to fix. So focus on ourselves. I know that sounds very selfish, but we need to be that way. We need to be so selfish and love that joy and appreciation. And this is how I'm in this. You might be wondering what's going on in April's background here. Well, I'm living my life. We sold our home in Iowa in 2021. And this is our bedroom. Welcome. Very intimate setting. I couldn't blur my background. So here we are. And I get to travel this beautiful, amazing nation while still connecting with wonderful souls such as yourselves. So thank you all for being here.
Yeah. I want to say I was blessed to be also on your show, April, and with a blurred background, by the way. But anyway, it was, no, I think it's so great that you're doing what you and your husband want to do. You're able to travel, you're able to do things. I mean, how amazing is that? I'm turning 60 years young this summer, right? So can't believe that, first of all, because I was 17 yesterday. But my family asked
you need
me
to be better at math then, because
there you go. I know.
17 plus 1 is anyway.
That's right. I know.
Check
I'm a little
your,
off on math.
check your math.
But my family was asking me what I wanted to do. I want to spend time with my family, and it really doesn't matter where we go. My whole thing was let's do something together, go. And we're going to scoot off to Kona for a few days together, which would be so much fun because it's been a while because during COVID we had Hawaii trips canceled, we couldn't go. And so this has kind of been something we wanted to do. And as your kids grow up, it's harder to get everybody together for any length of time. So it's not a really long trip, but it's just being together for a while, being together. And I think when you're able to do those things, travel, you got to take advantage of that now, because like I asked the question at the beginning, if today was your last day on earth, you need to think about that. It's not a negative, it's a positive. You should think, I want to positively do everything I can today because I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. Right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. It is those moments that count. When we look back over our lives and you think about, when you're a child and you talk to somebody and they go, every Christmas we did this. But when you investigate, it turns out it was like 6 times, right? 6 times you went to your grandparents' house for Christmas. And then you dig a little bit further and you go, oh yeah, we got up in the morning and we had breakfast and then we drove and we got to grandma and grandpa's house and then we opened presents and we had dinner and then we came home. And you go, okay, so you spent about 6 hours with them 6 times. And this is this huge memory that you have of your childhood.
Right.
And this is not to minimize that, but it's to emphasize how important those moments are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm gonna send this to you, April, because I just think that that being able to do what you really love and really enjoy in life is so important. But I just want to throw in a shameless plug, because as I'm looking at the comments, we got hounds coming in. Isabel's here today. Mike Ashebrandner is going to be on Marketing with Russ tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Got to throw that out there. So you all need to come back and see the crazy Mike. He is just crazy in a fun way, crazy like me. So there you go.
Crazy
Anyway,
good.
There you go. Crazy good. Anyway, April, take it away. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it is all about, again, being selfish and doing what feels good. And, we still have to do the things in life, right? We still have to do dishes. There's always laundry, all those things that are the doing. Although when we can really step back and appreciate that we're able to be in this moment with a loved one, with running water, right? With food in our pantry, or going to a pantry to get food. Whatever that is, we can appreciate in the moment that we are here having this amazing experience called life.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be ups and downs. Although when we focus on ourselves and bringing in those, countering those moments with, okay, yes, I'm experiencing these challenges, but how am I showing up for myself today?
And hence
What
the
is
name
bringing me joy? Yeah. What's
That's what
bringing me joy?
That's what we called this show, The Experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's life,
Absolutely.
right? We're all life in life, as
As
they
Russ
say.
says. Yeah, it's the experience of life.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here about.
Definitely. Isabel, pick that up.
I was actually, you know what? I want to come back to what April said a little earlier. It may sound selfish, but it really isn't. And I think that over time, as a society, we confuse childish and childlike. And tapping into your joy and showing up happy in your life and setting healthy boundaries, there's nothing selfish about that. There's nothing selfish about that. And when we embody our joy, that's when we become better leaders without even having the job title of a leader or not. We become better leaders in our family, in our communities, and in our entire life. And back to what you were saying, Ross, earlier, it's whether we want it or not, people are looking, people are taking notice, people are deciding whether they want to be influenced by us or not. And so when we hone in into what makes us happy, then how can we not show up in an extremely positive way in our life, right?
Right. Yeah. No, I completely agree with that because I just think that, living our life is the best example, and especially when we do it together. And I love how, all the elements of today's show, all that you two are about, all the hounds being here, Mike, all that he's got going. I think about how much we can do and how much we can elevate, like the collaborative books that I've written. And Isabel, you and Mike were part of that.
Yeah.
You can do amazing things that you never thought you could do if you put a little effort, you do it with joy and fun, and you get around great people like you two. Like I said, Scott and I have you two on today to make us look good anyway. We get people on way better than us. We never want to be the smartest person or the best looking person in the room. So, so listen, as we wind things up today, I'm going to start back with you, Isabel, and just give everybody your gold nugget of our discussion of the experience of life and all that we've talked about today, and then tell everybody how they get in touch with you.
I think that the golden nugget is just be you and the world will adjust. And how do you get a hold of me? Email is izzy@izzyfortin.com, and LinkedIn is pretty much where I hang all of the time.
That's where you are all the time.
Pretty
There
much.
You go. Well, that is so great. That is so great. And it's amazing with technology because all the information that you need to get in touch with Isabel or with April, it will be showing up in the comments and it's in the show notes today. And I just want to let you know, here we go. Whoops, wrong one. There you go. There's Isabel's information, and the right button. This is what happens when you're producing the show and talking at the same time. I'm just so thankful for both of you. April, you're next. Go ahead.
Okay. So what I would love for everyone to understand the golden nugget of the embodiment, as we brought from the selfishness to expanding to ourselves, to embodying, to actually asking ourselves questions, like turning worry into wonder. I wonder how this can happen for me. I wonder what will come of this. Just as me accepting this invitation to be with you awesome people here and everyone chatting in, I wondered about that and knew that it was going to be fun and exciting. And that's what I want in life. I want to keep this joy going. So just be curious. I wonder what will you discover about yourself today. And how you can get a hold of me is through my website, livingwithintention.co. I'm also on LinkedIn, April Wyatt, Living with Intention. Yes. And I'm also on YouTube as well, Living with Intention, April Wyatt. So just like Isabel said, it's kind of a,
I see a theme.
Here I am.
Here.
Yep. And I'm living with intention. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined in. I've been a little erratic with the comments this morning, but I want to thank everybody for being here today. Sometimes it's overwhelming. There's so many people jumping in along with everything going on, so many moving parts, right? But
well, I'll just say this is one of the things that I really appreciate about the Hounds of Business is that as a community, I have not seen so much engagement and support as what comes from the Hounds. And so just a shout out to Mike and the crew and everybody who is a part of that community.
Yeah, we show up.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
We really show up for one another.
Well, I love it. Just
for inviting me into your pack today.
There you go. Yes. Well, and I want to thank everybody for starting with Mike on the ease of showing up, because the app he's got, the Mighty app, and the different things, it just pops right up, and so much makes it so much easier to stay in touch with everybody. And I just love that. I just want to tell everybody, there it is. tomorrow. I got to plug it again. Mike's
There
going to
it
be
is.
on in the morning. So there you go. So, all right. So Pack, you got to show up again. All the hounds got to be there. So, but listen, ladies, you both are amazing. We're going to have you back on again.
Anytime.
Because we could
I would
talk
appreciate it. Yes.
forever. So much. It was such a blessing. It's so easy flowing conversation. And really, I love that about life. And, you find when you get around the right people, which Scott and I are blessed to be around so many amazing friends, amazing things happen and great conversations happen. So thanks for being here today. We're going to say goodbye, but we're going to send you to the green room. So hang tight for just a sec. All right.
We'll talk
Bye,
to you shortly.
everybody.
Bye.
Time goes too fast, Russ.
Oh, my
Time goes
goodness.
too fast. You're 17, and then the next thing you know, you're 60.
Well, what's so funny about that is my best friend from high school, he and I were talking. I think I told you this about a month or two ago. And he said to me, doesn't it make you just want to laugh? And I said, what do you mean? I said, the fact that we're going to be 60. I said, well, I'm not sure if it makes me laugh. He goes, no, I mean, we were like 17 yesterday. I said, doesn't it sound ridiculous that we're going to be 60? And I said, it does sound ridiculous. I got to admit, but it does happen. It does happen. And you know what? It doesn't matter. When I was young, it's all about perception, people. When I was young, I thought my grandparents were nearly dead at 50. It's just my perception. And when I hit 50, I thought, 50 is dang young. This is not old at all. And now 60 is looking pretty young. And so I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what your age is. You can keep moving forward and you can keep salsa dancing, right, Scott?
60 is the new 20, right?
There you go. The new 20. Well, Scott, what do you have going on this week before we go out of here?
Oh, this week, yeah. So, of course, coming up in about an hour and a half at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I'll be producing my wife's show, Aspects of Aging, on the Aging Better Network. You can find it on YouTube, but also broadcast on her LinkedIn channel, which is, of course, linkedin.com/IN/Christine-Smith. And it's going to be a fun show because it's her and I today. Normally, she's got 4 or 5 guests, but we're going to be talking about our time at the Texas Library Association conference. And it's also going to be broadcasting into Amazon Live because we're going to be talking about the books that we both have authored and we're presenting there. So things like Business Networking, A Scientific Method, and her books. So we'll learn more about those at 9 o'clock today.
Without Scott, everyone, I would have never written a book. And I want to encourage you. Scott always says everybody has a book in you.
I thought it was your 3rd grade teacher who
there you go. Well,
really taught you about reading and writing.
Who was my 3rd grade teacher? Anyway, I remember Mrs. Conrad was my 1st grade teacher. I remember that.
Well,
but I want to
be very proud.
There you go. I want to tell everybody though that it's amazing to leave a legacy, a little bit of you, and you can do that by writing a book, even just a chapter in a book. And collaborative books are huge now.
Do it.
And this is why I was able to be an international bestseller, why I was able to be #1 on Amazon, along with people like Isabel and Mike, because we worked together and people smarter than me knew what they were doing. So I just want to encourage everybody to do that. And I want to remind everybody, you get a hold of me at russedge.com. You get a hold of Scott at dscottsmith.com. Oh, which way is it? That way. There you go. I'm going to figure out which way to point. And you today just need to live your life like it's the last day that you have. Give it all that you got, because today's going to be a blessing. I'm telling you. And you can live with joy, right, Scott?
Joy and intention. And so, I love this. We just had great discussions today. We will bring our guests back because we need to extend this conversation. And I'll just throw out there that they would be great as a panel on your Thursday afternoon show.
Russ Reels Live. That would be great. I got to bring in a bunch of the hounds on that show, and we'll throw April in because she just fits in. April, you just need to become a hound. That's all there is to it. So, okay. All right. Well, with that, everybody, have a great week. Enjoy your life and enjoy
the experience.
Woo!
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.